Welcome to Airborne Flight Training. Coming up on this week's episode, American Airlines Cadet Academy announces Spartan College partnership. Court sides with wrongfully terminated American Airlines pilot. Delta pilots vote to authorize strike. And I'm your host, Holland Lee. Let's get into today's stories. American Airlines Cadet Academy announces Spartan College partnership. American Airlines and the Spartan College of Aeronautics and Technology have entered into a partnership to include their students in the Airlines Cadet program. Spartan, based in Tulsa, Oklahoma, is the American Airlines Cadet Academy's first collegiate partner, allowing membership for students working toward their Associate of Applied Science degree, provided they major in aviation flight. The partnership brings American's cadet program locations to 5 in all, hopefully opening up access to future applicants and guaranteeing sorely needed pilots in the coming years. Christina Flores, Managing Director of Aviation Recruiting and Programs at American Airlines, said, quote, "The American Airlines Cadet Academy is designed to address all of the obstacles associated with a traditional flight training path. We are thrilled to offer a new pathway which includes building flight time while working toward a college degree with the support of mentorship and financial aid," end quote. Rob Polston, CEO at Spartan College, said, quote, "We are committed to working with American Airlines to train a pipeline of new pilots to meet their needs for years to come. We are honored to partner with one of the world's leading airlines and train the next generation of pilots in their innovative Cadet Academy," end quote. And after the break, unvaccinated USAF instructor pilots to resume flying.
Throughout the globe, Piper Aircraft has hand-selected the very best in company representation, service, and support. From first inquiry to acquisition to product support, Piper Aircraft ownership is seamless and worry-free. Piper Aircraft authorized dealers, factory trained, factory connected.
Aviation Safety Resources is disrupting the market for aircraft emergency parachute recovery systems. ASR systems are smaller, lighter weight, and offer longer repack cycles than similar products available in the current market. ASR has a recovery system available for every type of aircraft: sport, experimental, light sport, general aviation, urban air mobility, vertical takeoff and landing, electric propulsion, and unmanned aerial systems. Find the right product for your aircraft at aviationsafetyresources.com.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some other interesting stories. Unvaccinated USAF instructor pilots to resume flying. The U.S. Air Force has confirmed that it's allowing unvaccinated instructor pilots to return to flight duty after grounding them last summer in accordance with federal COVID-19 vaccine mandates, since ruled broadly unconstitutional. USAF Major General Philip Stewart, head of the 19th Air Force, conceded on October 25, 2022 that it is, quote, "in the best interest of the Air Force," end quote, for instructors to resume their regular in-flight duties until further notice. NBAA recognizes air traffic controllers' heroism. The NBAA has recognized FAA Air Traffic Controller Robert Morgan with its Above and Beyond Award for Heroic Achievement, which recognizes individuals whose substantial actions serve to preclude injury, loss of life, or catastrophic damage to business aircraft. On May 10, 2022, Mr. Morgan was on duty at Palm Beach International Airport when a passenger on board a Cessna 208 Caravan contacted the tower to report the plane's pilot had been incapacitated during an inbound flight from the Bahamas. Spirit's ALPA contingent calls out issues at Airline. Spirit Airlines announced their third quarter financial results with a follow-up earnings call last week. Spirit posted a slight adjustment pre-tax loss, citing the impact of Hurricane Ian and higher fuel cost, but recognized a 35.4% increase in revenue from Q3 2019 and 13.5% capacity increase in the same period. Spirit continues to take on new aircraft and expects an additional 33 aircraft deliveries in 2023. ACE holding Amazing Race fundraiser with CFAA students. The Aerospace Center for Excellence will hold an unorthodox fundraising opportunity to bolster their year-round educational programs, holding a youth sim race between teams drawn from its Central Florida Aerospace Academy program. The high school racers will compete in a 4-leg timed race throughout Central Florida, competing to be awarded points based on the completion time of each leg. The race portion of the drive begins on November 29th, but from now until then, teams will be racing to gain as many donations as they can. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. Court sides with wrongfully terminated American Airlines pilot. In August 2020, DeWitt Ingram, an American Airlines pilot with 21 exemplary years in the carrier's employ, was professionally, financially, and personally undone by a nightmarish sequence of events. Mr. Ingram's tragedy was set into motion by an employee of ULAN America who sought to notify the pilot that he'd been selected for random drug testing. Subject employee mistakenly referred to him as David while querying a flight attendant as to his whereabouts. Ingram met the ULAN Group employee, explaining to her that his name is not David, and returned to his duties. The following day, Ingram woke to several voicemail messages from American Airlines Flight Operations Department expressing collective shock that he had refused to submit for the ostensibly prescribed drug and alcohol testing. Ingram suffered the dual ignominies of being fired by American Airlines and being grounded by the FAA. Ingram's case went public during 2 October 2022 court proceedings, the first of which saw a Florida state court judge allow Ingram's lawsuit against American Airlines and ULAN America to move ahead despite the two companies' petitions for dismissal. Further, an administrative law judge at an NTSB hearing ruled that the FAA had revoked Ingram's flight certificates and ratings illegally. Currently, Ingram and the Allied Pilots Association, which represents American pilots, are making ready to bring a civil suit against American Airlines and ULAN America. And after these messages, Delta pilots vote to authorize strike.
Well, hello, fellow pilot. I'm John King.
And I'm Martha King.
You know, we've all had our flying lives disrupted lately.
Well, King Schools is here to help you stay up to date with courses that you can access on your desktop, iPad, or iPhone. If you'd like a refresher or just want to expand your aviation horizons, we have a course for you.
So head over to kingschools.com/Rusty today for details.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
If it looks good, it usually flies good. The Bristol series of aircraft is proof of that. Furthering their legacy of safety and efficiency, Bristol is proud to feature the Rotax 915 IS Turbo in the current lineup of aircraft. The 915 IS Turbo power plant offers more power than ever before in a light sport aircraft. Learn more about Bristol at www.sportflyingusa.com.
Welcome back. Delta pilots vote to authorize strike. The pilots of Delta Airlines have voted overwhelmingly in favor of a strike authorization ballot. 99% of the over 96% of Delta pilots who participated in the vote authorized union leaders to call a strike if necessary to achieve a new contractual agreement with Delta Airlines. Delta pilots are working under contractual provisions to include pay rates and benefits negotiated in 2016. Negotiations for a new labor agreement began in April 2019, 9 months prior to the amendable date of December 2019. Talks entered mediation in February 2020 and were paused in March 2020 for nearly 2 years on account of the COVID-19 pandemic. Mediated talks resumed in January 2022. By federal law, labor contracts in the airline industry do not expire. Prior to the legal enactment of a strike, federal moderators must first determine that additional mediation efforts would prove fruitless and afford opposing parties opportunity to arbitrate contract disputes. In the event either side declines arbitration, it becomes incumbent on both parties to enter a 30-day cooling-off period, after which, as in the prevailing Delta instance, pilots and management may commence the complex rituals of saber-rattling, strong-arming, and head-thumping by which capitalist labor disputes are resolved, which is to say a strike by the union or a lockout by the airline's management. And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne, and don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching!